Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have for you one clip to watch. It is from Andy No's streamer. I don't need to introduce him, and you know who he is. The preeminent authority on leftism in the Pacific Northwest. Now, we know that downtown Portland has been a woke leftist utopia for some time. Well, now the Portland suburbs are beginning to get a dose of this just amazing wokeness. That, of course, has resulted in the usual suspects from Tifa and the like, because Portland is essentially a Tifa stronghold. The usual suspects, armed with their new allies, the Vagrants. Quick aside, I was once homeless. I've been homeless more than once, but I've been street homeless before, in a way a lot of these guys are. Now, so I can personally tell you that yes, there's a lot of people that do have mental health issues, but there are just a lot of genuinely bad people in that vagrant group, okay? So now they're descending on to the Portland suburbs. So the right-on crowd who vote blue no matter who are getting a taste of what they voted for, okay? So that's what we're going to see in this clip from Andy No. Let's see what the residents in Portland suburbia have to think about what they voted for. They got what they voted for. Let's see what they think about it. So we'll jump into the video now. If you haven't yet though, please like the video, subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell and share the video around. You can also become a member and support the Hoggcast. There's a join button next to the sub button. You can do that if you so choose. Of course, you don't have to. And with that, we'll get into the video.
This homeless crisis spread across parts of southeast Portland. Now it's right outside their front door.
I want to cry. I just want my house back.
Christina Hartnett lives on 80th and Powell, where a majority of the campers stay.
My lawn is now becoming a public bathroom.
Campers. It's like joggers. Can you remember that one? Joggers. He's a jogger, she's a jogger. Well, they're joggers. These guys are campers. You know, like an all-American family would go for a camping trip out in the woods or something. The mainstream media, which this interview's been done with, are putting the wokeists, the vagrants, the Tifa members, the ones who actively cause trouble, in with the all-American. They're putting them in that bracket by labelling them as campers, like it's a hobby. Like they're gonna go home after a while, which they aren't, of course.
She fears leaving her house just to go to work.
And it is scary when you have grown men meth raging in your driveway. The last thing I feel safe doing is going out and saying, hey, can you please move so I can go to work?
You see what this is? This is a leftist who she you know that she thinks she's better than you, she thinks she's better than me. This is someone who thinks she's oh so sophisticated, yeah, university educated, the like. This is her coming head to head with the consequences of her own actions, her own voting tendencies, yeah. It's all very good shouting, you know, for example, about the procedure, you know, the medical procedure that women have, or some women can or will have, regarding the Supreme Court. You know, I can't say the word, the A word. It's all very well, this woman, for example, like sitting at home on a smartphone or an Apple iMac and saying, oh, that's very bad, we need to do this and we need to do that. Well, this is hitting home now. So her own party has put her in this situation where, in her own words, there's addicts. What was the phrase she used? Meth raging, I think that's the term she used, in her front garden. Now, I don't know if she's got children or not, but imagine if it was a single mum with children, young children. This is the thing that leftists who don't have children don't understand, yeah? They don't understand what that's like for people. But this woman here, she's getting a real dose of it now, right? She's getting a dose of real problems, yeah?
Calling the police in city is an everyday chore with little reward.
So far, no one has come to help us.
Central City Concern Clean Start crews assessed this site Thursday. It was one of about 1,900 other campsites reported just this week.
A campsite? See, this is what gets me about the mainstream media the most, yeah, is they will deliberately substitute certain words and they'll tell half loose, half true, sorry. They'll hide this, they'll hide that. Campsite. That's not a campsite. That's a public street. Okay? You can't just rock up with a car, a worn out old car or a camper van or a tent, put it down in a public place wherever you like in the middle of a road and say, well, this is a campsite now, so up yours. Yeah? That's the people that your party, lady, is prostrating themselves to. People who just think they can do whatever they like. Yeah, there's never any consequences, but there is for you, lady, isn't there? Now you're seeing the consequences of your bleeding heart policies. In your own words, you're scared to go to work. That's the situation you've put yourself in.
In the past 10 days, they found 272 encampments that pose a greater health and safety risk, which is why they haven't removed the camps in this neighborhood. But just getting the city to come out and assess it has been a full-time job.
I have to report from like four different bureaus, and I have to report that report to a report. And
I recognise this. In other words, it's a big circle. You know what? Yeah. Instead of and this always happens with leftists, because when leftists get into the public sector, their chief aim is like viruses. Their aim is to propagate. Yeah. But they can't do it on their own, so they need a host, a decent host to replicate, and that's how leftists replicate. So they begin to push for more funding. They get it. They'll say, oh, it's for the homeless, it's for this. They'll spend 90% of that on their own wages. They will hire assistants. They will increase the size of the bureaucracy, all the while only employing people in their own image. Yeah, you see what I mean? It's like a virus. It one becomes two, becomes four, becomes eight. Yeah, and then you end up with a situation like this, where, in our own words, you speak to one bureau, you get, oh, go and speak to them. You speak to the next one, go and speak to them, the next one along. And then so on and so on. And you go around in a big wheel, yeah? You're going around like that. Never getting anywhere. You're never moving forwards. You're just going around and around and around. And she's paying for it, and all the other taxpayers in Portland and the suburbs around it that you're paying for, yeah? These agencies that you're saying that you want to submit reports to, they are not going to help, because in order to help you, that would mean that they have to hinder their special interest groups, Tifa, the usual suspects, the NGOs, okay, the Soros-funded DAs and the machine, yeah, the globalist machine. And they're not about to do that, right? They're not going to do that for you. They'll just keep telling you to go around and around on the wheel.
And I have to report that report to a second report, and it's the only way to get any kind of traction.
I feel like nobody hears us. Nobody cares about us.
This mother didn't.
I bet the Republican running in your area would, but you aren't going to vote for him, are you? Or her? So look, she's in tears. Doesn't matter. You are not important to the machine. Yeah, you're considered to be what was in the Ottoman Empire. They used to refer to the conquered people essentially as tax farms. Yeah, you're a tax farm. Your purpose in life to the woke establishment is to go to work, earn money as much as you can so they can tax as much as they can, so that you, through your hard work, can support their lifestyle as things crumble. So whilst they get your money, they can focus on their pet projects, yeah? Fixing your life, representing you and your needs, doesn't come into it, right? They'll once every 4 years, they'll promise you the moon in a handcart. You'll believe it because it's vote blue no matter who, and then they'll go back to the pet projects. All the while, you're a tax farm.
Didn't want to be identified on camera, afraid of retaliation from those living on the streets.
Not just the ones living on the streets, Tifa, yeah. They've been actively targeting the people who are trying to clean up the homeless encampments. So you get these Tifa members who just seem to lord it over the most vulnerable people, which is the homeless people. A lot of people with mental health issues. And the Antifa mingle among them, they intimidate them, they lord it over them. Horrible people. And until these people in Portland, Seattle, Pacific Northwest, until your politicians start dealing with that group of corrupted monsters, and I'm talking about Tifa, not the homeless, nothing will change. Nothing.
She rarely lets her children outside to play.
It's very sad. Because they're just kids, so they want to play.
I don't know where they're coming from.
Tess has lived in this neighborhood for 35 years. These boards now cover her front door windows after they were smashed by those living on the streets.
How much more crap are you going to take before it clicks? Hey, let's try something new. Let's give the Republicans a try.
She also installed security cameras around her house.
To do what? Do you think the police are going to do anything? They'll just come and the Tifa and the like will just come and smash your cameras, right? If someone did something on your property and you contacted the police and they actually bothered to do anything about it, okay, Antifa would look up the circumstances of the case and then they'll just come to your house, right? They do it all the time.
Scared. Most of all scared because I don't know what they're going to go next.
It's also affecting a nearby restaurant.
It unnerves our customers when they pull in and they see people overdosing on the sidewalks out in front of our restaurant.
It is going to take one of us getting severely hurt or killed before they will do.
That's happened many times over. Maybe not in your neighborhood, but in Portland it's happened, and Seattle.
Anything to come help us.
Meanwhile,
please come help me.
Does our city do something about it?
Sorry, you shouldn't laugh at it, but you're shouting at the wind. Right, the people who you dutifully elect into office in your local area, the Democrats of course, who your taxes pays for their privileged life, they don't care about you. Okay, I hope she said she's lived in the neighbourhood for 35 years, voted blue the whole time. I hope at some point before you die, because she's not exactly a spring chicken, that you realise, hey, maybe doing the same thing over and over again is maybe the definition of insanity.
Are they doing something about these people that need some help?
This never-ending
about these people that need some help.
Cry for help.
It's not them that
help.
need...
Continue.
Fuck off. It's not them that need the help. It's you. Let me tell you something, because as I said, if you didn't skip the part of me open a quick A-side, I've been homeless before, street homeless. I used to be an addict myself. I can tell you that if you don't want help, if a person does not want help, no amount of money you throw at them or anything like that, apartments, you name it, is going to help unless they want to change themselves. And I promise you, whether you want to hear it or not, there is a sizable proportion of vagrants that simply don't want it. So you're left with the only reasonable option, which is to move them on. Move them away from residential areas. If they want an encampment, go out into an encampment area, right? They'll be the first people to say, oh, well, what about us? We need services, we need this, we need that. What about the residents? The scared residents, their family, their children, what about what they need? You see, these services you vagrants talk about, it's those people who you're terrorising that pay for it. Yeah? Get that in your head. Anyway, look, that's the end of the clip. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments section below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.